Howdy everyone, Joe here from ActionX. Welcome to What's on the Tube. Welcome back. It's your 17th Walker Season 3 episode review. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're staying safe out there in the big world. I'm a little bit on a time crunch for once. Like I usually just say, I do not let my personal life timing-wise affect the show. But I'm actually going on a plane. Unlike last trip when I mentioned that on Walker, I was actually heading to Texas themselves, so that was ironic. But now, at this point, I'm going to another state, so I will not be here for a while, but I will still be doing the reviews. Don't worry, I already pre-recorded some stuff, so I will always have content when I'm away. But yeah, so today it's the penultimate episode of Season 3 of Walker, and it's kind of, I keep saying, every time I say it's like, is that a bad thing? Is that a good thing? Like, no, it's not a bad thing. I thought this was a good episode of Walker. I don't think this was anything like to write home about. This was a pure slice of life, no problems, just the characters chilling, growing, because we haven't had that in a while. We haven't had like just like a natural growing episode. Last episode we were kind of going through the aftermaths of Grey Flag. Now this episode we're kind of, focusing on some good stuff. We're just character bonding, learning new things. Obviously this is teeing up to what a potential season 4 might look like, even though we haven't been renewed yet. It's still good to hope that we will get one because, again, up front too soon, and a lot of shows that I like are not been renewed yet. I don't know what's going on. I know we're in a writer's strike, but still, I need some renewals. You got an upfront season coming, so I'm like, you gotta pitch to the people, like, we got a plan. We got a plan. But anyway, this week, it was fun. It was fun to see certain character interaction. It was fun to see old characters pop back in, and overall, it was just a jolly good time. Definitely setting up for next week's finale, but that will be next week. But for now, let's go for the butcher recap and talk about this week's episode of Walker. So we begin with, it's the launch of Walker Rescue after many, many, many unnecessary episodes. I'm joking around, but yeah, we're finally here. It's day 1 of opening. It's the official launch. Everyone's happy, but of course Captain James got to slid into them and say, hey, I'm engaged. I'm getting married again to Kelly. We're going to try this whole matrimonial thing one last go around this time around. Everyone's excited, and slowly everyone's like, it's supposed to be like at the download, like, hey, we're going to get married, so don't worry about it. And like slowly, and just like everyone in the cast is like, aware of it, which I'm like, you know what? Y'all asked for it. Y'all really asked for it. So yeah, it's a big old celebration. The Walkers obviously are volunteering their ranch to be the centerpiece for their wedding, so they can save money on a venue, which I'm like, that is very economical. They just bought a house, so I don't think they can afford a big upscale wedding at the moment. But however, turning the attention over to Liam and Stella, finally here they are. The thing that they've been working on this past year of uncertainty, now it's here. This project is finally done. They're opening it up, and it's exciting. That. Finally, this debatable chapter in like what to give the Walkers in terms of a subplot this season is now over, and yeah, now they can actually get to work after all the things they went through this year. And yeah, that's about it. Eventually, we go back to the house where the party's going on. They're talking about bachelor party, and they're thinking a camping trip. Just the boys and Cassie, since Cassie kind of fits in with the boys because of just her tomboyish personality. But she's like, you know what? I don't do tents. Like, that's why I dropped the line. She does so many badass things. Tents, it's off the table. They clearly not going to happen, which I'm like, okay, you know what? Everyone's got the limit. Everyone's got their limit. I respect that. So she's going to kick it back this weekend, just relax for once, not being truly involved in any of the festivities. So that's going to be the boys, Trey included. They're going to have a nice old fun weekend. So to speak. We come over to later that night. Cassie's heading off to the side stool to get a drink. Jerry's back to work, after many, many, many weeks away to take care of Hoyt's daughter, estranged daughter. She's back. She's working full time again. And who else shows up is Kelly. She's there because she knows Jerry. They're still pretty good friends. And, this is I think one of her first interactions with Cassie. And she's excited for the wedding. She's excited for everything that's about to happen to her. And then also she gets a call apparently that none of her bridesmaids will be making it to the wedding at all because it's hurricane season in Florida, so they will not be making the trek down from there to here. So it's sad to say she will not be having a bachelorette weekend that she wanted to do. However, since Cassie and Jerry are like, hey, we're the only real of-age females on the show, so we should all do the bachelorette weekend, which I'm like, okay, thankfully this isn't Kelly's first wedding, so I'm like, I honestly would be like, well, if my friends were all like, we're not available, and then a bunch of randos in my life, kind of say that, I appreciate the offer, but I would probably say no. Because that's supposed to be a special occasion, that's supposed to be a special occasion, in my opinion. Kelly's not 100% sold on the idea, because again, her and Jerry hasn't really had the most constant communication, and it's all like, she just met Cassie, so it's like really a good idea to have a bachelor weekend with two people that you barely know. But you know what? Jerry decides to bribe them with free margaritas and just like, let's drink the night away, let's think about it, and see if this is a good idea or not. We cut Brian early the next morning. Everyone's getting set. Trey apparently is getting the heebie-jeebies about any potential welder life in the forest. And Liam's just like, don't worry, there's no bears or anything. There might be snakes. That's about it. And I'm just like, okay, snakes are actually pretty creepy as well. They're just so slippery and eely. I'm like, oh god, it's disturbing. August is coming too, as well, to be more like, to give him some quality time with his dad, since they haven't really had any in a long time. He's also apparently doing a similar thing to Walker did. He wants to apply for the Army, but he's keeping it in the down low for now. He submitted his application, of course, since August. I believe he's a junior, so we won't probably see the ramifications of this for another season or two if we go that far, hopefully speaking. But he is definitely, wanting to do this. He definitely wants this to be the direction he wants to go in, and it would be an interesting development, so to speak. I think from that point onwards, we start the track. They're about to get loaded up. There's, the horse is ready to go. But of course, Captain James notices one thing. There's 6 horses, but there's only 5 people here. So who is the 6th horse for? And it's DJ, his son, which I'm like, oh shit, I completely forgot about his son, because it seemed like back in the season 1, like the epilogue episodes, it just seemed like they were going to kind of, keep him around, but apparently nope, they just forgot about him and they moved on. I'm pretty sure he was in an episode or two, like afterwards, but like I don't remember him. So he's back. He finished midterms pretty quickly, and now he's back to kind of, spend time with his dad for his bachelor weekend. Kind of weird, but I'm like, you know what? It is what it is. And they're ready to go. They're ready to kickstart this entire, fun camping trip away. So they giddy up. They head over to the forest. Very nice, like typical cliche shots. But they're enjoying the time. They're enjoying the scenery together, so to speak. I want to say we get the first, like, actually, no, we're not there. We're not there quite yet. They're trekking. It's a lot of trekking, so get used to it. This is also the first time that Grandpa and Grandma Walkers had the house to themselves in over 20 years. Apparently, there's always been one other Walker roaming around, which I'm like, I don't believe that. I'm pretty sure there's got to be another weekend where you had nobody around. But let's just say, for the sake of it, this is the first time in 20 years they have had no other relatives in their house, no other person in their house, and they're ready to fall. Cut. Also, apparently, Grandpa Walker already had, like, blindfolds ready custom made, which I'm like, you're very kinky. You're very kinky. I want to say after that point we get to, So after that point we get over back to the boys. They're setting up camp, but Walker's experiencing something. He's feeling something amiss. Like, he's just feeling a presence there, and he's not quite sure about it. While everyone else is just kind of like fishing and like getting like acquainted with the trip. Liam goes to knock him out of it. Walker's just writing it off. It's like, I'm just having writer's block. I can't really think about what to say for my officiant speech, which I'm like, I'm not sure if that's an official thing, but of course, why the hell not? So they're getting that made. They start making the tents. They're just having a lot of fun again. Walker's just having these weird, like, mysterious, feelings and signals and everything, but he doesn't quite know what it is 100%. Then we cut over to, I want to say, the girls who are enjoying their bachelor weekend. They're doing a spa day today, and it's pretty chill. Again, like, I still find it a little weird that Kelly decided to go along with these two, but I'm like, you know what, it is what it is. She'd rather have people accompany her than no one. And they're just enjoying their time together, just relaxing. And they're doing the typical, like, we don't really associate each other, so we're just talking about the basic stuff. Because I can stretch for an entire weekend. And they're just enjoying themselves. They're just guesstimating, what are the boys doing? Like, what are they doing, like, to enjoy their weekend? And, it turns out, they're playing football, which I'm like, I'm not totally surprised. I actually played football like this ever. So I'm like, I would be curious to try with my friends eventually. Cordell's getting more of the vision. He's seeing that now, like a faint shadow in the distance, so it is getting more closer. But he keeps getting knocked to his senses. But again, once again, like, I think it's time to finally start fishing, get dinner ready. Actually, start getting provisions up and running. Meanwhile, out of everyone that's like enjoying their weekend, only poor Stella Walker is the only one that's going to try and work. on the horse rescue. She's got to finish some paperwork over the new horse that just arrived. However, Hoyt's daughter is still in town because apparently now she's living over with Jerry, which I'm like, okay, interesting that you're going to keep her around. I mean, she is legal age, so technically she could go anywhere she wants to, but yeah, it is what it is. And she said, you know what? Hey, Stella, there's a college party happening not too far over. I'm driving, and, I will tell Jerry that you're giving me, out of trouble, which I'm like, goddamn. And Stella's, she's been working hard. She deserves at least one day off, so to speak. Hopefully nothing problematic would happen. So they go over to the sorority house, and already she's already like, they're getting a nice banter going. Again, will Stella and Hoyt's daughter be the new Walker and Hoyt going forward? It could be. It definitely seems like they have that vibe. Like, it's mutual. Like, we kind of like each other. We kind of tolerate each other. We're just going to see how things go. That's kind of how how I'm taking it to be. So they go inside. It's pretty, customary, just traditional, like people drinking out of red cups and everything. Hoyt's daughter introduces Stella to the host of the party, which immediately, like, you're like already like kind of like, you're getting that like signal vibes of like, he's just like, hey, like the sparkly eyes, like, hey, you're cute, you're very attractable. Stella doesn't really like, take too notice because again, she has a boyfriend technically. And Stella's like, what, I'm gonna drink. They're as much as they were enjoying the banter over Hoyt's daughter. She's just gonna go get a drink and start to like, enjoy herself at this party. So she goes over to the cooler to get like a non-alcoholic beverage, and she runs into her old friend from the pilot. If you remember, there was a mini subplot in like the majority of season 1 where Stella's friends' parents were going for a deportation, and that was something that we dealt with for a while, and then she left midway through, and then we never saw her again. Yeah, she's back over, and they're like, obviously they're shocked because again, they haven't seen each other in almost 2 years. So they catch up apparently. So last time we heard about her, she was going to go down to Mexico to visit her dad, and then afterwards, it's either her dad or her parents. I think it's her parents. So she goes down over. She went out over there. She ended up staying with them. They eventually were able to get a work visa, start a restaurant, and they moved to Nevada. So she finished up her senior year there. Then she's now just helping out with her families, but she's now in college right now doing pre-law. So. She wants to be an immigration lawyer. Definitely, she's got her future on track. And Stella's like, yeah, it's been a good couple years. Like, I'm running a rescue ranch with my folks, and yeah, that's kind of what I'm doing, just focusing on the family business, which is kind of like the corny answer of like, I am never gonna leave town by this point. I'm just not. I'm just a family person for the rest of my life. Anywho, so I believe after that point, and she's like also giving like, oh, I'm also doing a podcast now, and like, I would love for you to be on it because you're the daughter of a ranger, so it would be nice. It would be nice to like, use this slow, but it's kind of awkward. It's kind of like, there's still unresolved things there. They're just trying to be nice, but like, it's kind of like that obvious, like, yeah, we're not, there's still some underlying problems, but we're not trying to start an argument here at the party. So we're just keep going up. She eventually just ditches Stella and lets her go by her way. The boys have successfully captured dinner. They're cooking. Everyone's having fun. Cordell's pointing out the fact that even though that James has been doing so much recently with everything would work and everything, he still finds time to spend time with his son, and that's seen and appreciated greatly. And he also brings up the fact that there's still some issues that they gotta deal with right now, but right now, like, let's just not ruin the good time. It's been a very long year, very long, difficult time. Let's just enjoy each other's company and just go for it. Except for Trey, because a moment in, he notices there's a snake about to crawl up his boot, which I'm like, yes, I made that reference. He gets scared shit, which I'm like, the man that's jacked, that survived, like, he's been in the service, fought against a militia group, like, is scared of a snake, which I'm like, I would be completely scared shitless too, to be honest with you. Eventually, they use their guts when instead of trying to kill the snake, because that would just aggress it even more. They decide to capture it. Cordell takes a nearby bucket, manages to capture it. Everything goes well. There's just like, panicking and celebration. A nearby patrol car shows up just to check in on them, make sure everything's fine. And they're just like making sure, like, yeah, it's a bachelor party and everything's fine. Don't worry about it. They even give her the snake to like for proper removal. Thankfully, she does like no problems here. She just lets them continue camping, all the same thing. We cut over to the next day where the boys are packing up. They're getting ready to leave, and then Cordell finally sees whatever the hell was summoning these wind visions, so to speak. It apparently is his younger self. His younger self is basically there to give him like one more piece of like, yeah, even you're still burdened by something, like there's something still holding you back to be able to fully enjoy your life. And it's not related to anything you dealt with recently, whether it was anything else. These prom preceded all of that. And once you ask yourself the question you need to, you will be eventually to be able to enjoy actual peace in your life. So very appreciative. Also kind of weird they had the scene existed, but I'm like, you know what, whatever moves the plot, apparently, whatever moves the plot. The girls for some reason decide to hire shirtless workers to go work on the side stool, which I'm like, again, it's bonding. It's very much bonding, and Kelly's just like enjoying every minute of it. She does thank Jerry and Cassie for a lovely weekend together, and now that she can be able to go to her second wedding with like a much more confident outlook. She leaves to go handle some work business, and Cassie points out to the fact Jerry, like, yeah, this was the actual first time that they got to hang out together. That last time they knew each other, they just met each other, or they were like at the Walker Ranch for dinner and everything, but like they never had like a proper one-on-one time. And even like Cassie points out, like, since she's been in the town, she hasn't had like a real girlfriend. Like she's been like hanging out with dudes, or maybe Grandpa and Grandma Walker, but that's about it. She's normally been like been that way. So it would be nice to for them two to hang out purposely, because again we were kind of getting that dynamic set up for Mickey and Jerry for the first season and a half, and like that went away. So definitely this would be helpful for them to like develop their own friendship, which would be greatly appreciated to see that in person. So yeah, they're gonna go through with that. I want to say Grandpa and Grandma Walker are back after a long, nice act of love making. They're ready to welcome everyone back home, to resume how life really is. And we got a little bit of exposition about them, that when they got married, they were supposed to go to have a honeymoon in Italy, and there was going to be a 10-day affair. It was going to be nice and beautiful, but one of their pieces of equipment shut down, so they had to use all the money they were planning to use for that trip instead for repairs. So they never properly went to go on their honeymoon trip. So yeah, Grandpa Walker's just using this wedding to be like kind of like a rectification, like to allow James and Kelly to have like their own nicety of peace and romance. The boys returned from their long trek, and everyone's kind of like getting back to it. It was a nice fun time. Besides the snake, everything was fun, but it's not quite over just yet. Not quite over. The Marine Corps police unit shows up to drop off Coop. Well, not drop him off, but more like Cordell scheduled a visit with him to meet him in person before he goes wherever the hell he's gonna go to now. And he talks about how a lot of the things that Cordell had to go for in the last couple of years were because of Coop. That everything that Coop has done, the example he showed him is like how he dictated his life, and now with everything that happened with Grey Flag, with everything that happened with this incident, that he is kind of ready to move on. He's kind of ready to become whoever he is now meant to be. But he does thank Coop for a lot of things. He gives Coop back the flag that he was supposed to give to his mother when he passed, as well, just a sign of good luck, and then that they will meet again. Which honestly is very open ended. Just we appreciate your work this season. We might see you again down the road, but if not, thank you so much. The next day, also, Stella decides to go visit her old friend who just finished recording an episode of her podcast. Assuming oh, you're here for your podcast episode already. I mean, I don't mind, but I didn't mean that right away. But Stella decides to use this opportunity to apologize to her that certain decisions she made during that first season was not wise. It wasn't wise for her. It wasn't wise for her friend. It wasn't wise for their friendship. And after all these years, Stella hasn't. It has been easy for Stella. So definitely, this being the case of now. We're here, it's at least we need to acknowledge our mistakes and hopefully move forward and rebuild as friends. And she agrees, she does agree with her that there was a lot of things that went wrong, but now they're here. There's a point for them reuniting. I definitely can relate to that, and now they can hopefully pick up where they left off and be best friends again, hopefully. That's a hopefulness thing. And then I want to say the episode the episode ends with not ends, but after that, Cordell goes to visit James, lets him know everything was fine. Just checking in after everything with the camp, and everything was great. He also updates him that he got his first draft of the speech ready to go, so it's gonna go pretty well for them. And that's about it. Just just rectifying how nice is this all? It's nice to have to focus on something good for once instead of focusing on some worriedness stuff. And lastly, Grandpa Walker and Grandma Walker, before they embark for dinner, Grandpa Walker has a surprise for her. He takes her outside where he shows her her brand new car, fully a vintage car. You know, Jerry's obviously not Jerry. Grandma Walker's obviously blown away by it. She's very impressed, and you know, it's not all like once the wedding is over, Grandpa Walker wants to take her away to Arizona for a little like their overdue honeymoon, like, you know, just enjoying themselves, not worrying about everything. Which I'm like, that's honestly pretty sweet. After all this time, Grandpa Walker, you really took your time with this one. But yeah, so now they're happy. They're gonna go embark on this new journey. However, we're not quite done just yet. We go over to the diner where that guy from the party appears, and he's meeting with someone, and he meets up with the officer that stopped the boys over about the night before, and they're kind of like exchanging notes about what the hell just happened. It's like, you know, like, okay, you got in with Stella, I got in with those guys, and I'm like, what the hell's going on? Are we already setting up the season 4, Fred, or is this going to be one of those like random villain of the week types of ordeals? Like, we'll get this resolved by next week. Who the hell knows? But they're like, you know, saying like, oh, our boss is going to be like, you know, tells us like, you know, weakness, you know, I forgot the terminology, but they call Stella weak, and like now's the perfect opportunity with the wedding to like, you know, get in with the family while it's hot. Which I'm like, I don't know what this means. I really don't know. I'm confused as hell as all of you, but that does mean they're setting up some cool thing. But that was it for this week's episode of Walker. For me, I thought it was fun. It was just a fun old episode. Definitely nice to see James's son and also Stella's friend again. It's been a while since season 1, so definitely was nice to see them popping back in the story, contribute a little bit more to the overall larger narrative of things. Cordell kind of having that like weird, like, this is it. This is the last of your past, your last of your trauma. After you solve this last thing, you will be set for life. You'll be able to move on with anything else. Will that actually happen? I really don't know. But I will say that, you know, definitely was nice to see the younger self come back in again. And yeah, it was just nice to like see some, you know, Jerry back in the picture. It's been a very long time she's been here, but she's back fully. Hopefully to stick around now that she can, like, you know, start to have an actual friendship with Cassie. It's going to be a lot of fun. But for now, definitely this was just a fun setup episode for the season finale. Hopefully not the series finale, but we'll see more about that in the next couple of weeks. But I'm going to give this episode 2 thumbs up. I enjoyed it a lot. Let me know in the comments below what you think of this week's episode of Walker. I would love to have a conversation down below with you as always. But I believe that's going to do it for me today, everyone. So if you're unaware, this has been What's the Two from ActionX, reviewing every episode in the 3rd season of Walker. If you want to know what we're doing normally on What's the Two besides our Walker episode reviews, currently right now we are doing Perry Mason reviews, the rookie episode reviews, and the rookie feds episode reviews each and every week after brand new episodes on their respective platforms. But if you only care about Walker, you're in luck. Next week we have the season finale review. It's the last episode of the season. Hopefully not the end of the show, but like hopefully it's just a season finale again. So that'll be the review next week, and then the week afterward we'll be doing a season 4 predictions video if we do get one. And then finally we will be doing a season 3 review, non-spoiler edition for anyone who has yet to catch up the whole season. That will be eventually available on Max. But again, thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't yet. Like, favorite, share if you want to, and as well as ring the bell. But until we see each other again, for all you members of the Texas Rangers out there, I'll see y'all next week for the next episode review. But until then, stay safe out there, be good to each other, and as always,